Hello friends, in this video we're going to look at this Capehart AM FM multiplex 8-track stereo player. I got this new in about 1975. I think it probably cost about 50 bucks. I seem to remember it came from Kmart. This was my birthday present as a youth at a certain age. Now, one of the interesting things about this is it's been in my possession continuously and kind of sitting on a shelf unused for at least 30 and maybe as many as 40 years. So one of the big questions we're going to answer here is, does this still work at least as well as it did the last time? I don't remember it being broken at the time, but who knows? So we'll find out together. So this is the kind of thing that's vintage and rare, but not necessarily valuable. When I did some research on the internet, I found that this is kind of non-existent. I only found like one ad for it, and there's no other mention of this same exact model. Capehart is one of those brands that was once a storied brand long ago, but it became a cheap brand by 1975. So taking a look at the back, this has the kind of things you'd expect: FM antenna, ground, left and right. This has two different channel sets that are selectable on the front. Here's something I added along the way, and I don't remember why I added this or what it was for, but what I kind of suspected was a breakout where I could put in a CD player or something. There was probably a period where I had a CD player, but I hadn't bought a new stereo or something like that. So you can see this is cobbled in, so we'll figure out what that's about later. For reference, here's the back plate. I think the model number is SKT220 Capehart. And on other parts of this, it says made in Great Britain. So I guess it wasn't in Japan and it wasn't in China, so it must have been Great Britain. Well, I've just turned it on for the first time in 30 or 40 years, and it seems to work just fine. I can tell you that the FM selectivity of it doesn't seem all that wonderful, but it does work. It sounds fine through these Advent speakers. So far, so good. Let's do balance control. That's fine. We'll turn the bass up. That's full bass.
Get started at 4hers.com/radio.
Full treble.
Access affordable.
When I say the FM selectivity is rather poor on this, I'll show you an example of that. Look how far I can move the dial before this comes out. The station is 101. You see the FM stereo light goes off. It's on for a wide range. It goes off, but there's still something to hear. We're almost at 102. So this is a capacitive type analog tuner as opposed to the digital FM synthesizers that we're used to now, where you type in the number and you get exactly what you want. So again, this made sense in the era for a cheap stereo, but it's really not anything to write home about in the modern era, even for a cheap stereo. So everything seems to be working nominally. We've got light on here and everything. So let's try out the turntable. So I'm going to turn this to the phono setting. We'll do start. Let's try auto. Okay, it didn't work as I expected. I think it's working, but I didn't set it up right. So let's do auto this way. Something's coming through, but it's very dim. Oh, I've got this set on 45 instead of 33. That's a mistake. I think what I'm hearing is actually literally from the needle. So that might be what I've got piped in the back. Let's connect the back and see what happens. Well, one of the problems this has that I've discovered that I didn't realize it had was it looks like the 33 is kind of messed up. It's running this at 45. And another thing I've had to do is connect my RCA jacks on the back. So evidently, many years ago I had tapped in where the turntable is. Seems like the 8-track would have been a better option for that with a line level input, but who knows. So I'll look inside it at some point and reverse engineer what I did all those years ago. And meanwhile, you can enjoy Olivia Newton-John at the wrong speed. Sounds like a chipmunk, of course, but at least maybe the YouTube cops won't get on me for this. So now we're going to try out the 8-track function. One of the things that I noticed when I turned this on to 8-track mode, I'm going to turn up the volume. There's a lot of hum going on here, so that's probably one of the things that could be improved if I dig inside, put in some better filtering capacitors in the power supply. So I'm going to be using this Sam and Dave tape that I got at a thrift store. I just opened out of the package. And let's hear what that sounds like. Better turn it down first. So you can hear the drive mechanism makes a lot of noise itself, the motor and so on. Another sign of a cheap device. So we happen to be on track 4. For those of you who aren't too familiar with 8 tracks, they have 4 selections of stereo, so that's where 4 and 8 comes from. So it sounds fine overall, a bit muffled maybe. Maybe I got this set wrong, no? So the 8-track function works on this and appears to work as it did the last time, which is passable but not great. We'll just pull that right out. So that's another sign of success. If I end up rewiring this in some way, I'd probably bypass the 8-track this time, but honestly, there's no case to be made for improving this. So it's going to either go back on the shelf after I work on the turntable a little bit with the 33. That's probably just a mechanical problem of some kind that may be easily fixed. Or it might be something that I end up getting the unit. I'm not quite sure. Honestly, I probably stored it for long enough and it's time to move on, but I've reached the stage of life where I need to do more of that. So that wraps up this video for the Capehart AM FM multiplex 8-track stereo player, vintage 1975, my very first stereo. And if this video gets some interest, we'll go inside and try to fix the 33 issue on the turntable, and also find out what's going on here with the mod I made decades ago that I don't remember. It does patch through the turntable, but that surprises me a little bit because of the fact that the turntable level needs a preamp, and so either I bypassed the preamp or else maybe I didn't do it right, I don't know. But if you have any interest, be sure and like and subscribe, and we'll possibly provide a part 2 of the inside of this. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.